In the latest edition of Ravens-Bills, Sunday night was absolutely pure cinema. Two MVP dual-threat quarterbacks going head-to-head in a playoff-like atmosphere, as this game had every twist and turn imaginable. The Buffalo Bills rallied from a 15-point fourth-quarter deficit with under 4 minutes remaining to steal a win on the first Sunday night game of the season. Josh Allen went God mode, putting his team on his back after trailing 40-25 thanks to a Derrick Henry long touchdown run. The Bills' defense provided little to no resistance against Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, but got the breakthrough that they desperately needed when Ed Oliver was able to force a fumble on Derrick Henry with 3 minutes left in the game. Now, Derrick Henry did have a stellar night. He had over 170 yards rushing with 2 long touchdown runs, but clearly the play that turned the game upside down was his fumble, and the Bills immediately cashed in to cut the deficit to 2 points. But they failed to make the 2-point conversion on a night where they struggled to even get any type of momentum with 2-point conversions. They missed 3 total 2-point conversions on Sunday night. The Ravens got the ball back with a chance to end the game with a single first down. However, Buffalo's defense was able to get one more stop and give their superstar quarterback another crack at winning the game. Now, at this point, the Bills' offense is humming. They've scored 3 touchdowns already, and Baltimore's defense is gassed. Josh leads a game-winning drive connecting with Josh Palmer and later Keon Coleman, who each got past Jair Alexander both times, as this set up Matt Prater's game-winning field goal as the Bills steal a 41-40 victory to kick off the final season at Highmark Stadium. Takeaways from this epic game is that you can never count out Josh Allen. The Bills were left for dead after a demoralizing drive where Lamar is able to slither out of a sack at the 10-yard line and Houdini himself all the way to midfield. Within a few plays, Derrick Henry takes it all the way for a touchdown to make it 40-25. And despite having little push up front, little to no resistance defensively, and multiple failed 2-point conversions, Josh hung tough, was able to carve up this loaded Ravens defense to score 3 touchdowns and the game-winning field goal to win it. Matt Prater, who kicked the game-winning field goal, flew in on a red eye on Friday evening, as he's been a free agent all summer long, and thanks to the injury to Tyler Bass, Matt Prater got a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. For the Ravens, this is yet another frustrating loss. I said that this is a team that has all the talent and was the superior team for 3.5 quarters, but once again, they blow another lead. The more you think about the Ravens and blowing big leads, the uglier it gets for Ravens fans. Under John Harbaugh, the Ravens have blown 17 double-digit leads, and there has been so many, especially in the last 3 seasons, that have cost the Ravens playoff berths, playoff seeding, or even home field advantage. New year, same Ravens who make self-inflicted mistakes. We always ask, can the Ravens get it done, and can they finish strong? For 3 quarters, sometimes they look like the best team in football. But when it comes down to the 4th quarter and when it comes time to make a play to close the door on a team that's coming back from down big, they fail to do so. Once again, it's penalties, and they had 7 in this game that resulted in over 50 yards, and that does add up in a 1-point game. We also had the Tyler Luke missed extra point that ended up coming back to haunt them at a point where, yes, you score 40 points, you should win that ball game, but given how the defense was looking in the second half and the pace of the game, that extra point on paper at least does somewhat make up the difference, and instead of the Bills going for the win, they would be forced to go for the tie with seconds remaining in the game. The other aspect is in the 4th quarter, the Ravens offense completely dried up. After Derrick Henry's long touchdown run, it seemed that the Ravens were on their way to victory, but their offense completely dried up. Their last 3 possessions ended up in 2 punts and that fumble by Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry had a fantastic game. Yes, he ran up and down the field. He ran over the Bills routinely, drive after drive, for long touchdown runs on 2 different occasions. But Ed Oliver came up with a play that flipped the game on his head. And mind you, Ed Oliver had a fantastic night where he had 3 tackles for loss, a sack on Lamar Jackson in the pivotal sequence of the game, and like I said, the forced fumble that changed momentum back to the Bills' way. Another point is the final possession. The Ravens had a 3rd and 10, and then a 7-yard completion to DeAndre Hopkins sets up a 4th and 3. Why give it back to Josh Allen when he has been carving up your defense for 3 scores heading into that final possession? Knowing that you only can defend maybe 30 to 40 yards to get into field goal range, I take my chances and trust Lamar Jackson, your 2-time MVP, Derrick Henry, who is a former 2,000-yard rusher, who's had a lot of success in this game against this particular defense. You have DeAndre Hopkins, who's making one-handed grabs. You have Zay Flowers, who is a weapon at any point where he touches the ball. And you have Mark Andrews. So there were plenty of options there for a 4th down play. And even if you don't convert and you give it back to the Bills in field goal range, you have 3 timeouts. Maybe you can stop them, and then you have a chance for one last gasp attempt to tie up or win this game. Finally, it's probably going to get lost in it, but the tackle on Keon Coleman by Jair Alexander. It's one thing to allow 2 long completions to get into field goal range, and it's clearly showing that Jair Alexander might be washed, but Jair made a boneheaded play to tackle Keon Coleman when he should have just let Keon score, and then the Ravens would have had maybe about 40 seconds left on the clock to get one more crack at it to score a touchdown to win the game. But instead, he tackles him at the 9-yard line. Josh Allen and the Bills basically run down the clock, and Matt Prater kicks the game-winning field goal to steal this win. We've seen too often that the Ravens get up big and they blow these big leads or make some critical mistake that they cannot afford to do so at that particular time. And until proven otherwise, we cannot trust these Ravens to get it done when it matters the most.